Alright guys, Bill here back with more Immortals Fenyx Rising. And get ready for a really unprofessional video because I'm going to be listening to the live feed update from Big Brother Can 9 and also eating my lunch. So that's something, lunch/breakfast. It is 11:26. I do work later today. But again, as of for right now though, we'll go ahead and continue playing this. What am I doing here? Oh wait, we died, right? That's what happened at the end of last episode, yeah. We just had to jump across. Yeah, obviously last night I was getting very frustrated at this game. We'll see if that sticks today. And now, my fucking god. So far it's looking like it's probably gonna stick.
I do think the giant jet really would be like, bro, I believe you got us. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a decent chance that in this house, people will definitely not believe the correct thing, because they very rarely do.
I mean, that's a fair point. But at the same time, I'm like, y'all have already sort of been, I mean,
Alright,
I don't know
try this one more
what
time.
the two of them could think, because they often...
Obviously not much to update on, just since I last recorded. Oh, just went to sleep, woke up, yeah. Did a couple things before I started recording here, but yeah.
Again, you might not be allowed to say. You know? I would hope so.
I guess everybody would just say it's not them, so...
Again, assuming this invisible HOH is an anonymous HOH, I think you have to implement the rule that you cannot say anything, because otherwise people will say. You know, because you should. Like, you should tell your allies, hey, I won this HOH. And then it's not as fun. So I think you have to have the rule that if you say anything,
Phoenix found it here.
Alright, so that's number 2, right?
something like that, right? So,
Yeah, we wasted so much time last night doing this.
you know, they could do. I mean,
Not this one in particular, but getting the previous tier.
You know, I've seen suggestions with this kind of thing before, where it is up to the house guests to then try and guess who they think the HOH is, and if they get it right, then that could sort of waste hours or potentially put the HOH in the block. Now, my problem with that idea, of course, was that allies have no incentive to guess that it might be one of their allies if it means that their ally gets the HOH power stripped from them. So you'd have to have something
probably not
like that. But it could be like, say the nominees have to try and guess who nominated them, right? And then maybe, you know, if they do, but that would just incentivize random nominations to be like, oh, well, you'll never figure it out.
Though a
and
board
so
may
it'll
have
be all
bested
over
the
place.
mortal
So,
Madonna,
Yeah,
they
but
both
it's
guarded by
probably not as
boards.
complicated
Did not
as
best
you would
our
think,
mortal
because
feet.
it really
There's
is.
that
These kinds
smile
of things, we can come up with so many
Enjoying
different types of
yourself?
scenarios.
Always.
It's like the most simple,
Except when that
untwisty
eagle
twist
is
of all time. So
Oh,
it's probably going to be
that's when I'm
anonymous.
enjoying
We don't know
myself.
who it is. They figure it out anyway. It ends up being the talk of the town by Saturday. What happened, and then the veto is just very straightforward. And let's
I will make you
yeah, it's just the talk this week. Like, let's go.
Everything's invincible. Yeah, you know what? I think, because again, my issue with this idea that I've seen in the past is that it will just play out very regularly. It shouldn't have too much impact. I think that if this is the house that is most ripe for this kind of twist at this time as well. Like, if it doesn't work here, I don't think it works anywhere. So it's a great place to try it, because I think the timing has worked out pretty well so far.
I'm definitely sad. I mean, we were all sort of, we're not complaining, but sort of lamenting the fact that this week had sort of slowed down in momentum because of the sort of straightforwardness of it all. And I think that having something like this, with this particular cast, I think you were right before, like, it does have the potential to just sow a lot of discord, because these people are all B to C level players, so anonymous HOH might just be the thing to just inject some more life into this week. So I'm excited for it. Once again, this season has just been some pretty good stuff. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, it may turn the week into another endless circle talk of, wait, who do you think it is? What's this person? No,
smelliest
it
of
is.
Yeah, and we're all
Totally appropriate for a
excited
dog.
by it in the first
It
couple of
didn't belong
days,
with
and then
Africa.
come Saturday, we're
She
like,
was
we know,
better than
you know.
Yeah,
Adonia
shut up
was a
about it.
celebration of women's self-expression. They would dance on the
Started talking about
rooftops,
this.
bringing scented plants like
Alright,
fennel
well,
and cabbage to their
let's
parties.
get into the
In
day
the
here. We
spirit
start
of
the day
Adonia,
with Terra
isn't
and
it
Ro.
Aphrodite's choice?
So the day
Who she
before,
loves? Not when it's rotten, like that
yesterday,
smell.
you know what?
And yet, the women of
I'm
these
done doing
villages
that.
let it waft from
Today,
the rooftops.
I'm talking about today,
year after
which is
year.
yesterday, which is day
Maybe the
26,
freedom
which is
to
March
make the
24th,
choice
but today,
is
right
what
now, is
matters.
March 25th, but today, when I say today, I am now referring to March 24th, which is day 26, and so yesterday is the day before that, day 25, March 23rd, alright? You got that? Everything clear? I hope that was very clear. It sounded very clear to me. So, yesterday...
How do we get through this?
So proud. Regular Big Brother daily tweet. Love it.
Yes. Yesterday, when I talked to you about what happened yesterday, I told you that Tara and Tina had been told that
I should find the guide again.
that Austin and Brayden were gunning for them, put them up, right? So Tara and Tina pushed very hard for Kyle to stay in the game and for Austin to leave because they kind of believed that it might be true. However, over the course of the day, they ran into some walls, and it seemed like that was not going to happen. So in the morning today that we're talking about, Tara talked to Ro, and she asked him, like, what's up with Austin and Brayden? Would they come for us? And Ro says, absolutely not. Austin and Brayden would not put you up at all. I do believe that they were put in a situation at one point where they might have said to Ty and Jed, just to throw them off, yeah, we'd go after Tina and Tara, but I can guarantee you it is not true. You have to remember, Ty and Jed are smooth talkers, and they cannot be trusted, and they are just trying to split you up.
Wait, what?
And Tara says, okay, well, I just wish that they had let us know that they had said our names so that it wasn't so easy for them to tell us that they might have said our names. And we need to open the lines of communication some more.
So we need to put lettuce things
absolutely.
on those.
I mean, did they have to let you know? I mean, it's not like they were talking.
I suppose we find behind a building.
Before. Like, I don't know if I would have really let Ro dissuade me into thinking that there's a possibility that Austin and Brayden could put me up, because, quite frankly, I still think that it could be a possibility. Maybe they don't want to go for Ty and Jed at the same time. Maybe they want to put Jed up and put one of you guys up just in case something happens. Or if Jed and Ty end up on the block at the same time, and one of them comes up, maybe one of you would be the probation nominee. So, I'm sort of like on the side of paranoia here. Like, look, if I'm Tina, I'm like, okay.
Oh, we can
That's kind of
jump with this?
strange that, I mean, we don't really talk, so they could put me up, and I don't necessarily. What about you, Tina? Are you assuring Austin and Brett that they're good, or are you just trying to, lay in the middle the entire time until the right time is to strike? So, I mean, they're fair game as far as I'm concerned. If I'm Austin and Brayden, putting up Tarantino, and what?
Maybe here.
Like,
all right,
we don't talk game.
Here's the thing. I figured out this Jed Ty thing. I haven't screwed up the Ted nonsense in a while, but you guys are screwing. Now it's gonna mess me up again because everyone else is saying Ted, and now I'm gonna start saying Ted again. It's because Ted is a name. Ted is a name. Maybe I should just say Ted.
Fuck off! Why is it doing that?
It'll be a bromance name, but we'll just get it over with. It's gonna happen again.
I do disagree though. Tina and Sarah have talked enough with Austin and Brayden. They really shouldn't have believed the lie in the first place. I think the only reason they believed it is because it came from Kiefer and they trusted Kiefer's source of information. But toward the end of the day, they're going to kind of come to the probably correct conclusion that this is not really the correct information. Ro does, and I really liked this from Ro. I feel like Ro might actually. It's interesting that Ro and Kiefer are so at odds because I think that they're actually very similar as players, but just at kind of different ends of the spectrum when it comes to how they play with their social game. I've talked about how I think Kiefer is probably one of the better strategic minds in the house. I think Ro is probably
second,
also up there in terms of his strategic ability,
so bad
way of
socially.
looking at the game. He often says things that are correct. But he also says things that are wrong. But it's really his social execution that leaves a lot to be desired, and it's the same thing with Kiefer. In Kiefer's case, it's that people don't respect him as much. He tends to be a little bit emotional. He talks about how he's too soft for the game, and he got really mopey last week. With Rohan, it's almost the opposite. It's that he is a little too cold and a little too businesslike, and it's harder for him to connect to people emotionally. But they both can have good reads and good ideas of what they should be doing in the game, but the social ability is preventing them from having all of the tools necessary to enact those things correctly, right? So Rose says that it may be frustrating. And this is part of what I mean, because Rose says that it's frustrating that people like Austin and Brayden are in a better spot than Tina and Tara, but it's actually the reverse. He just doesn't see it because he doesn't have that social read, right? But he says it's frustrating when you have people like that who are in a better spot than us, yes, because they're going to be safe and we're going to be in trouble. But it's still actually a better thing for us overall if the other side thinks that they have those extra numbers, because they might go easy in an HOH competition. They might take their hands off the wheel for a second. They might start looking at each other, and they may just be like, we don't need to win this HOH, which is very true. And later in the day, Ty and Jed will talk about potentially throwing the HOH to somebody like Tina, which is a very bad idea, but it's because they think that they have Tina and Tara on board that happens. So I thought this was some great insight from Ro in a spot where there's not a lot that you can do as a two-sided game, and there's usually a lot of animosity toward the people that play the middle. I think that Ro's appreciation for the people that play the middle is a very good stance to take.
Off. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that I've been waiting for him to sort of give us. I mean, he said, I feel like I'm always talking about his pregame interview, but my goodness, there's a gnat in here. Leave me alone. He said in his pregame interview that he wanted to sort of play like this sort of like devious game, and because of the fact that he's been so in hot water for so long, he really hasn't had a lot of time to like really set his feet down, like really sink his teeth into the strategy. But it's stuff like this where it's like, okay, so you understand some of the ins and out of this game and what sort of like incentives people you can expect from people given their social position in the house. So yeah, I like this too. I think that it's definitely, when it comes to Ty and Jed, it's definitely an accurate thing, and I think that you could probably expect a lot of his behavior from Ty and Jed in the future. So I'm wondering if he'll be able to use it to his advantage.
Cool, perfect.
And if people are not going to get too spooked. I think it really kind of does depend on like what they tell them before the HOH. Like, is it going to be a thing where the HOH gets won and then they'll find out it's anonymous, or are they going to let them know beforehand, this is an anonymous HOH, it might behoove all of you to gun for it? Because towards the end of the day, a lot of people were saying, you know what, I'm just going to gun for it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. This is probably the best
so
approach,
Rose says he doesn't think the other side has any intention of flipping this vote. And she says, I just don't want Austin and Brayden to be playing them. He says, they're not. Do not worry. Rose's going to leave. Kyle's going to come in. She says, she really quickly just asks Kyle as well, like, can I really trust Austin and Brayden, like 100% non-wavering? He says, absolutely. Which I would feel so like, I know that there really isn't much that can be done right now at this point, but I just, every week, I always just feel so bad for the player that's out the door and someone is asking them for advice for the rest of their game. I'm like, I would be like, don't talk to me. Like, don't ask me anything. I would just be so sour, but, good for you, Kyle. Yeah. So Tara goes and talks to Austin and Brayden and says, look, as far as I know, Austin, you're still good, but there was some rumbling yesterday. She says, I think the purpose of the rumbling was to pin us against each other. And to pin it all on me, like always. And you know what? You know what, too? Not me and Tina. No, just me. It's always me. Tina's always left out of it. Why is that?
I wonder why that is.
Because Tina's a sunsetter. But she thinks it's just because Tina's more likable than her.
I think two things can be true at once, Jared.
Okay.
So she says, look, I think it's a fake rumble. I think we're okay. So I don't think you need to worry. But I do think we need to open up our communications more because it's easy to believe their lies sometimes.
Oh,
I
shit.
was told
No,
that you
no,
were
no, no,
coming
no,
for me.
no.
but I think it's a
Fuck
lie.
off.
Tina ends up joining, and they continue to
God
clear
damn it.
up like,
Okay,
oh,
really.
you know, we were told that we were
Why
coming
isn't
for each
R2
other,
run?
but it's all
So
lies.
annoying.
We're coming together. We all need to gun for the HOH, and we'll just continue to let the other side believe that we believe their lies.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me that Austin really just, you know, she's really in a pickle this week, but through like little action of her own, she is still able to sort of like get information from everybody else. And I mean, there's a whole rumbling that you're being told about, and she is as cool and calm and very like, all right, well, let's clear this up. And I'm like, girl, there's a chance that you almost went home. There is a chance. It might not have been that big of a chance, but there's a chance. And she's just not giving me enough of I need to be here energy yet. It's kind of making me upset, but you know what? It's working for her, so whatever. Grab that thing to the wheels fall off, girl.
Tina and Brayden are going to talk a little bit more specifically, saying that it was Ty and Jed that were telling both of them the reverse, that they were going after each other, and they both agree that they would nominate Ty and Jed if they won HOH, and they will be gunning for the HOH. Vic is then going to briefly talk to Kyle and let him know, dude, you need to campaign. You've got to do that. Like, I'm trying to get you to stay, but you need to talk to people. And she tells him, you should go to Ty, Jed, and Beth and tell them that you are only going after Kiefer. You're not going after them, you're going after Kiefer, and then they might keep you. I do believe she is not intentionally sabotaging Kyle, because she is going to fight to keep Kyle with Ty, Jed, Beth, and Kiefer later in the day. So I think this was genuine advice, but very bad advice.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, we were on the podcast a couple of days ago, and, you know, I was a champion for Victoria, you know, and in a lot of ways I still am. On this particular day, however, yeah, no. It sounds like something that she would do if she were in this situation, and that just maybe it might work for you in your own strange kind of way, Victoria. Maybe this plan would have worked for you.
So you do need it.
For Kyle, I think it's a bit of a different story. It's a bit of a different dynamic between the four of them, and I just don't really see how she felt like that was going, especially when Kiefer just did not put them on the block. So why would they? Kiefer's with them, obviously. You're on the block. So why do you think that they would be gung-ho about you going after Kiefer? And why do you think they would believe? I mean, Ty and Jen might believe it, to be honest, but still, it really doesn't incentivize them for them to go away. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, Vic.
He also let him know that Tina and Tara are fighting for you. So just so you know, it's good to know. So Kyle's gonna talk to Ro, and he lets him know what Vic said. And this is where, Ro occasionally has moments where I think he's got the strategic head on correctly, and then occasionally has moments where he doesn't disagree with this plan. To tell Ty and Jet that Kyle's going after Kiefer. But Ro also fills him in that he says, look, I feel like I'm basically the glue holding Tina, Tara, and Austin and Brayden together, because they're both telling me that they don't trust each other because they're being told that they're going after each other, and I'm holding them all together at this point. I think that the guys are trying to set up like a 4-4 tie to get Austin and Brayden pissed at me, Tara, Tina, and Vic. So that they can split us up. I fucked that up. I don't think they're that smart.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a wonderful corollary of what's going on, but yeah, that's definitely not an orchestration there.
Yeah, exactly. It was not intended in any way. Although Ty is going to briefly suggest the idea a little bit later in the day. That it was not orchestrated in that way. What the fuck? So many of the house guests were told to chill. Rest up, because they're anticipating that there might be some running involved in the HOH competition. That's what they're kind of anticipating, because they were told to like make sure their legs were feeling okay. I think, you know, obviously their knees are all busted up because of that veto competition, and some of them have had some like foot problems. So they're anticipating some running in the HOH competition. That's something to note. And really, the main point here that Kyle thinks, if it is genuine, if it's not a setup, that they're contemplating this flip, it's probably because Austin has outperformed him in almost every competition that they've played in, and that's a pretty decent argument for him to stay. So that's going to be part of his pitch as well.
I mean, yeah, definitely use what you can. I also feel like I feel like we really haven't seen a ton of like endurance type competitions yet, so I feel like there's a little bit of hole in that logic. Like, yeah, Austin did pretty well at the crossword. She did pretty well with the other competition. She did well. So she's doing well, but like we still haven't seen outright pure raw physical competitions yet, and those are the comps that I feel like, you know, Jed and Ty are pretty much just sleeping dragons for. And so ultimately, yeah, I mean, keeping Kyle still could combat that, but Kyle often has to do it well. So are you really that much of a bastion of security if we keep you here? Are you really going to be able to beat those two? So it's something. It's something on his end.
Yes. He's worried about like campaigning against Austin. He's like,
fuck off.
If she's not campaigning against me, like I don't want to be campaigning against her. And so his solution to that is that he's going to go and talk to Austin and say, look, I think we should both campaign. I'm going to go campaign. I think you should also campaign. And so like
you mean play the game, like play Big Brother?
Yes. This is one of those situations where it's like,
like move it and those go to. Then what's the point of these then?
Trying to be nice, trying to be like I'm not campaigning. It's actually, it works out for him though, because him campaigning and Austin campaigning are vastly different in terms of their impact, as we'll talk about. But in the meantime, Tina, Tara, and Kiefer got together, and they let him know, Tara very reluctantly, that, you know what, we slept on it, we thought about it. If you want us to vote out Kyle, we're down. Tara keeps saying, I mean, I think it's the wrong choice, but yes, we'll do what you want. And Kiefer's like, okay, great, because I was thinking about it too, and it's like, if Beth and Ty were on the block, and I approached you guys about like, we got to take out Beth, like that's what this is like, right? And Tara's like, well, no, because I do still think that the right move is to keep Kyle for us three, but you know, again, I'm willing to do what you want me to do. If you want to make this mistake, essentially, then I'm willing to make this mistake with you. And Kiefer's like, well, I think that this is the right call. And like, even this, like, we're doing what you want conversation, Tara can't even manage it without pissing Kiefer off. Yeah, and Kiefer kind of got like a bit of a short fuse. He's not really, I mean, he doesn't blow up or anything, but you can tell that his tone will shift just like that. And I just feel like this is not, you're not Derek, Tara. Like, you're not going to do the whole, hey, this is a good idea. All right, I'll talk to you later. So yeah, we're doing this. Like, no, you lack the social grace and the finesse to make that happen.
No,
so I would just back off. I mean, obviously, yes. And Kiefer's also not dumb, so he knows that you trying to keep Kyle, there's something in it for you, but not for him, especially since he put him on the block, and then Kiefer tried to compare it to Jed and Beth being on the block, and them trying to, like, it just, no, just Kiefer, on your end, just say no. I think that this is the best plan for us going forward, and for their end, like, you know, that he's not going to give in. So just move forward and try to work together. I don't know, like, this kind of conversation really made me a little afraid. I'm like, I don't know if the pre-90s is gonna last a generation or so. I think that they might implode, and I think that Tina would probably be the one that just sort of is like in the middle, like, well, I don't know what to do, because Tara and Kiefer are really out here warring. Like, mom and dad are having disagreements.
No, what the
so
fuck?
we'll
What the
see
fuck? What the fuck?
happens. I'm excited. I'm waiting for a bit of a blow up with Tara.
fuck this
We've already
game.
kind of seen it. We saw her when she was really upset with Jed and she was confiding in Ty, but she didn't really say anything to Jed. So I'm just waiting because it feels like she's just a little wind up doll and she's just ready to, like, if she gets HOH, ooh baby.
See, this is Victoria's mistake, because Victoria has been trying to get into a big blow up. She tried with Beth, she tried
There
with
we go.
Kyle. It's not working. She has not picked the right person.
Oh, yeah.
Victoria and Tara head to head would be a match for the ages.
Yep. You will get it with her.
Yeah.
You will definitely get it with her. I was like, not to bring it back to LaToya, but I was just still so proud when even LaToya didn't give her that. Because, like, Victoria was like, don't talk to me like that, LaToya. And LaToya's like, okay. But you keep talking over me, right? Like, it's like but she stays calm, she stays sane. And Victoria wants it. I mean, she's been trying to get into a little bit of a scuffle, so you're going to pick the right one today. I'm excited.
All right, so Austin is going to, on the advice of Kyle, campaign to Jed. Her campaign is, so I feel good with you, and that means, I'm like a number, and, I want to be here really badly, and, I'm gonna try real hard, and, I mean, that's basically it. Jed asks, well, so, are you working with Ro? No, we don't even talk game. We just like hang out, but we're just like all personal. Like, okay, well, like, who would you put up? Well, not you. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's like, all right, great talk, great campaign, love it.
I think this is the part of the game that most people that want to play this game don't really think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you good at talking to people? Are you good at giving them something that they don't want to get you out of here? Like, are you good at the wheeling and dealing of Big Brother? Are you good at that? That's such a crucial skill when it comes to this game, because Austin, I know that she has her stands, but she's giving y'all nothing. She's literally giving y'all nothing. And at first it could have been, okay, she's just playing the background. But then when she has to come to the forefront, this is what we get? How is she even if she does make it to the end, how is she going to talk to a jury? How? There was nothing in this conversation other than, we're good, I'm not coming after you, good talk. What?
She's just gonna coordinate with Brayden, and then they'll talk at the same time to give the speech.
Oh, it was so cringeworthy. So cringeworthy.
So immediately following, Kyle is gonna talk to Jed and Ty, and he is gonna give his pitch. He says, look, I am a big target in this house. I haven't even done well in competitions. I'm not even good at the competitions, but I am still a big target. That is great for you. I am not coming after you and you two. They say, well, are you willing to name names? And he says, absolutely. I'm going after Tina and Tara. Those are the two names I'm coming after. But also, look, I know that you and Ty will need Keith to go at some point. And you guys are not going to be able to take that shot yourself. So I'm the person willing to take that shot. And you know that Kiefer will never vote for me in the final two if I make it there. That's a good thing about me. And it's like, okay, you were great with, just end it with Tina and Tara. That's what they want to hear. And they're willing to believe it too. Don't listen to Victoria.
How did you put yourself in the final two? Why? What, God, come on, man. I was so ready to be like, yeah, Kyle, so much better than Austin. And then you did something like this. It's just like, you need to know when to just give just enough and then just go on about your day. Just go on about your day and let them stew over it, because that was just a little bit too much.
Let them stew over stew.
And also, you can never you can never really promise stuff like that in this game. Like, it's always like a good point to say, I can go after the people that you want me to go after, that you can't go after. But there's so much that has to go into a week for that kind of stuff to happen. You have to guarantee that you win HOH. You have to guarantee that certain vetoes don't get played or do get played. There's just so much that goes into that you just can never really make that a real, especially at this point in the game when there's so many people left. Maybe if there's less people left, then maybe. But at this point, like, it's just it's not a good pitch.
It's not a pitch that you can make to somebody else. It's a line of thought, a line of reasoning that other people may think of you, but you cannot pitch it to them. So other people might think, oh, I can use Kyle to get out whoever, right? That's what Tina, I can use Kyle to get out Time Jet. Great. But Kyle can't go to Tina when he's on the block, and, you know, Tina's been thinking that Kyle's been coming after her for a while, and for Kyle to be like, well, use me to take out Time Jet. It's like, if they're aware of it, then they're also aware that they're not in a good position if they actually do that, which means they're less likely to actually do it. Does that make sense? So it's like, I only want to use you in the game if you're unaware that you're being used. If you pitch to me, use me, I'm going to be like, oh, so you see it then.
Alright, so we're gonna end here.
If you see it, you're going to get out of it.
Ah, fuck.
You know?
I mean, it's you know, it's the thing. Like, you just need to, like, when you're good at knowing what kinds of things incentivize people,
We're around 4
you can
hours,
work
right?
that to your advantage
Thanks for
without letting
watching
people know
for now.
that you're
Thanks for watching.
working it to your advantage. Just